horror fans, once again it is me, the Horror Miser Monty G. It's time to do another movie review. We're going to review the psychological horror film Antebellum. Ooh, yes. Now, Antebellum is a 2020 psychological horror film. It was written and directed by Gerald Bush and Christopher Rentz. This is their directorial debut. They mostly done music videos, and now they're directing this one. Now, the film stars Janelle Monáe, Eric Land, and Jenna Malone. Now, the plot is pretty interesting here. A successful author, Veronica Haley, finds herself trapped in a horrifying reality and must uncover the mind-blowing mystery before it's too late. Yes, very simple plot. Now, we've seen movies that have non-linear storytelling in them, such as Christopher Nolan's Memento, the 2002 French thriller Irresistible, and of course, the Ring horror films. Most of those films have told their stories in non-linear format. Now, first-time directors Gerald Bush and Christopher Rentz decided to use this approach for their movie, the psychological thriller Antebellum. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard about the twists that take place in this movie, so for me, it's going to be hard to try to review this film without spoiling it, but I'm going to give it the college try and be a spoiler-free review for you guys. Now, basically, we have two interlocking stories. One that takes place in a 19th century southern slave plantation during the Civil War, where we're introduced to a woman slave named Eaton. That's one story. The other story takes place in modern times, where we have successful author and sociologist Veronica Haley, who is out promoting her latest novel and having a good time with her best friends during dinner. Those are the two characters that dominate the film here. Now, how these two characters are related in this movie is something I can't go any further to about spoiling the movie, but I'm sure for people who have seen the movie know what I'm talking about. So at first, I have to give Christopher and Gerald credit for trying to come up with a unique way to tell a story such as this one. Like I said before, when you're going to do a movie and you're going to try to do it in a non-linear style, it depends upon how you do it and how you tell the story. But I will give Christopher and Gerald credit for coming up with sort of a basic story and a basic plot, but tell it in a unique way. So give them credit for that. However, that doesn't mean they did a good job of telling that story and in this format as well. The one good thing they do right in this film is that they do keep the audience engaged as the movie is evenly paced. There's no real slow moments in the film. We're curious to see how Veronica and Eaton's lives are connected, and Christopher and Gerard throw subtle hints during the two stories, especially during Veronica's stories. There are sudden hits that we see play out. You might miss them, but when the two stories come together and we find out the truth between these two characters, you understand what those subtle hints are. Now, this type of storytelling wouldn't work without the performance of Janelle Monáe. Like Lupita Nyong'o's performance that carried Us, Janae's performance carries this movie as well. Without her, I don't think this movie would be successful at all. Now, we see the desperation, struggle, and anguish Eden endures, and we also see the confidence, pride, and joy Veronica has. I don't know if any other actors could have carried this movie like how Janelle does in this movie. It's amazing how these two characters both see the struggle and the joy, the confidence, the pain, the anguish, and the confidence that both these characters have. And Janelle does a great job in portraying both those aspects of both these characters. However, it doesn't say that much for the other characters in this movie, because due to the structure, we really don't get to know them enough to care about them, and that basically goes for Veronica and her friends. I'm not saying that Gabriella Subley is not good. She's okay. I thought she did a pretty good job, but we just don't know enough about her character to care anything more about her. Now, I will say that Eric Lang does a good job at playing the Confederate general only known as him. He's vicious, he's cruel, abusive, and you can tell by the look on his face that he's enjoying what he's doing. And I will give you a trigger warning about some of the stuff that he does in the film. Now, Jenny Malone, she's okay as the plantation owner known as Elizabeth, but she really chews up the scenery in her scenes with Janelle, especially during the third act of the film. I guess she really put some effort into making Elizabeth the type of character that she was, but she really chews up the scenery. It's like she's doing a bit over the top villain, but she was okay. The main problem I had with this film is that it was marketed as a horror film, but there's little to no horror elements in this film at all. It plays more like a psychological drama film than a horror film, like No Way Out, or some of the other thrillers I've seen that come out throughout this day, like Hide and Seek, that starred Robert De Niro. It plays more on that aspect. Yeah, there are some real terrible things that happen, especially during the plantation scenes, and there might be some subtle horror elements in it. Maybe some creepy. There's real no creepy imagery in it. There's no atmosphere in it. And that's the main problem I have with the film. I guess they just thought that, hey, maybe we would get more money if we marketed it as a horror film, but there's no horror elements in it. It's really not a horror film. Now, as I mentioned earlier, scenes involving that plantation may trigger some people, especially what's going on in the country right now. However, I believe the message that Christopher and Gerard were trying to tell was more about empowerment, pride, and not forgetting the past. From what I remember, this film was written back in 2019, way before the current events what's going on right now. So I don't believe they had any hidden agendas in presenting this movie or trying to catch on what's going on in today's society. But at least they don't pound that message in your face. As you can see the subtle hints, especially with Veronica's character, and of course what's happened in the plantation scene. I believe that's the message they're trying to present here. Also, I will let people know this movie isn't for everyone, and I know that the average horror fan is not going to like it at all. Again, I'll give the directors credit for trying something different and unique, and I admit I was a bit surprised when the twist happens. There are actually two twists that happen, especially during the third act of the film, which kind of did not catch me as surprised as the first twist was. But I'll give them credit. You know, when I see directors trying to do something different instead of trying to just play on the same tropes and the same cliche characters, I give them credit for at least trying. And Janelle Monáe is wonderful, and the film looks very good. But like I said before, the main problem with this film, it just simply isn't a horror movie, and that's what they market it as. Now, since this is a horror film, I got to give out my gold bloody coins, and this is only going to get 2.5 out of my 5 lucky gold coins. Gotta knock it down because you marketed it as a horror film. So you're only gonna get 2.5 of my 5 bloody gold coins. I really don't know how many people are going to like this film. It's not a bad film. It will trigger some people, but I don't know how people are going to take this film. Some people will like it, some people will not like it. That's the best way I can describe it. I had no qualms with the plantation scenes. Like I said, it will trigger some people. I thought Janelle Monáe was great in the film. I think if it wasn't for her, this film would not be as good as most people say it is. And I know a lot of people probably will not like the structure, but hey, what are you going to do? So there you have it, guys. That is my video and review for Antebellum. Did you guys see it? I believe it's playing on Shudder right now. So if you want to watch it, go watch it. And I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, leave your comments on your comment section below and tell me what you thought about Antebellum. And once again, that's my video for the day, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, and share. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscriber button and ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put up new videos such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember, horror rules. I'll see you in my next video. I'm out.